Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Ishvara Darshanam is Atma Darshanam. Seeing Ishvara is seeing yourself. And this is what Ramana has tried to present through these verses. In the last verse, we looked at Atma Samstitihi Swatma Darshanam. So after the derobing or taking off the costume of this body mind, this prosthetic costume of body mind sense complex, what is there is the Atma, and that one abides in this reality. So we often think, and in a lot of spirituality circles, one can be in on a lot of trips which talk about the mind getting away from the truth. So this is a standard question. It's a question people ask during class, after a retreat, or just when a retreat is ending. While we are here, it's absolutely fine. I totally get what you're saying. But how does one hold on to this when we are back home? And there is nothing to hold on to, because the truth is you. So thought form, any thought form, it abides in awareness, that is you. So because of you awareness, every thought shines, and every wave is possible only because of water. Small wave, big wave, surfer, breaker, tsunami also. Tsunami is huge. It's a tsunami happens. So you almost like the ocean shrinks, and you think, oh my God, where is the water all gone? But it's shrinking, and then the tsunami comes. So that form is but water. So this Atma is not an object, and that is really what we say when we say that I abide in myself, in the Atma. We are using language that is based on duality. When I say I abide in the Atma. And so what exactly this abiding means is further being highlighted here. We can look at verse 27. Jnana varjita ajnana hinachit jnana mastikim jnatum antaram. Okay, it's a very nice verse. So for all the people, I want self-knowledge, I'm very committed to self-knowledge, all that, we all say this, right? Now what he's saying is that this knowledge that you have about yourself, that what is this abiding? Abiding is that the consciousness that you are, I'm using awareness and consciousness interchangeably, the words. The consciousness that you are, jnana varjita, it is free from knowledge. What is that? Knowledge is free from knowledge. What is that? See, because it is free from knowledge, in brackets, knowledge of object. consciousness that I am is free from the knowledge of objects. What does that mean? That what we had looked at also in Mundaka Upanishad, that everything else comes under Apara Vidya. Anything that is other than me. So, oh no, but I know my thoughts, my choices, my decisions. Hey, it is an object of your thought. It is other than you. If it was you, you would not be able to see it. If your memory was you, you would not be able to modify it. You see how we modify our own memory. We think we have photographic memory. It's not true. So depending on how you mature in life, the same memory you will look at differently. That same memory will evoke different emotions in you. Okay, and you will modify it a little bit, you will alter it. Every time an eyewitness is asked to say something, they rarely ever, it is not verbatim the same, you know, because we are growing as people and the way we perceive things, even our own memories, that also changes. So that is also an object of my knowledge. My memory is an object of knowledge. My ideas about myself, they are other than me, and therefore we call it object of knowledge. So I am that consciousness which is free from knowledge of objects. Oh, then do you mean you have a lot of ignorance? No, but it is also ajnana hina chit. This chit is ajnana hinaha. So it is free from ajnanam, ignorance of oneself and the objects. So I cannot say that I don't know myself at all. I don't know myself, and that I exist and I have some identities, for sure I know that. But the chit we are talking about is free from the ajnanam of oneself and the objects. In other words, this is not a mystical statement. It's really highlighting the fact that this division that we have of the knower, the known, and knowledge, that division, because in the previous verse he had said nirdvayat, there is no dvayam, there is no division. So that I abide, that this chit, that is my very nature, I abide in this because for me there is no division. There is no division. There is not that, okay, now I am, now I have self knowledge. So if I say I have self knowledge, I'm saying that, okay, there is me, the knower. I have knowledge of so many things and I also have self knowledge. It's still other than me. Okay, this is a subtle point. There is a nuanced point. And, but I don't know Sanskrit. I have not studied so many Upanishads. So it's okay. You may be free, you may have ignorance of so many things. But the consciousness that you are, that is free from ignorance, from avidya, ajnanam, and it is free from knowledge. Anything that is other than you, because our whole relationship with either with knowledge or with ignorance is based on duality. So here it's no more that I am learning Vedanta, that Vedanta is me. That's it. That's why it exists. So that clarity is there. So then if we say, oh, but how Ramana is saying like this, I am feeling very betrayed. I thought I will study this Upadesa Saram. I will get some knowledge. This knowledge is unlike any other knowledge. It is that because of which you know, and that because of which you know that you know, that because of which you know that you don't know, and it is that which illumines every thought. So what we have seen earlier, when we inquire into that aham vritti, that I thought, so I, that self-evident, self-existent I, and then there may be some other thoughts, but all those thoughts are illumined in the consciousness that I am. So this unqualified, unspecified knowledge, consciousness, it is, if it was separate from me, then I cannot know anything. Because it's my very nature, then a lot of other things I can know. I can also, suppose if you ask me, oh, do you know Swahili? No language in Africa. So I'll say, no, I don't know. Hey, how do you know you don't know? No, no, I know what I know and I know what I don't know. I don't know what that is. Okay. So I am aware of my knowledge and I am aware of my ignorance. So jnana varjita means free from objective knowledge. Ajnana hina means free from ignorance. Okay. So in some ways, Ramana is also dismissing the desire of self-knowledge. Dismissing it in the sense that, for a lot of us, we have a seeker identity, and especially in many circles. So I'm like, I am a very sincere seeker. Now or I'm a sadhaka. I am very ekdam. I'm doing my sadhana and these sadhanas and so many disciplines and all that I have very good. But that becomes identity. I'm not willing to give that up because if I know, then I'll have nothing to do. You know. So like it happens. When some. Um, it happens with a lot of elderly couples. Okay, if one of them is looking after another person, either husband or wife, and then one of them dies away, there is a lot of emptiness. Because now, like, your whole day was filled with doing this and structuring the schedule and everything. Now no more that identity. you know no more that looking after, because there's a whole schedule to looking after somebody who's ailing in terms of medication, and if you have nursing staff coming into the house, then so many things have to be looked into. So these identities keep coming and going, but this one is a very difficult identity, because we think that, oh, I dropped all identities, abhi to hum to sadhu hai ya sadhvi hai, and हम तो सच को खोजने चले हैं, etc etc. तो कब तक नहीं, I don't want, ये इसी में तो मजा है, ये साधना ही सब कुछ है. So there is the romanticization of the sadhana, of the seeking, and you forget about, hey, why did you get into this in the first place? So I want to seek knowledge, I want knowledge, etc. Okay, that's fine, but it's only up to a certain point. It's like with a lot of people, when they start to work now, because they have been in student mode, you know either after college, if you start, when you start working professionally, then you expect to be told what to do many times. Very rarely you will take charge and do stuff, because that's not your mode of functioning. you know and then you have to change the way you think, uh, because now you're no longer in student mode. Of course, some people say we are students of life, and I'm always learning and everything. Okay, okay, वो सब ठीक है. Hey, but here you are supposed to perform. You have not joined this organization. Some people would come. I have seen, I don't know how, thousands of CVs, because I used to recruit people, and people say, oh, I've come to learn. I said, oh, then I don't think you can do much, because this is not an internship, it's a job. So you have to perform and you have to contribute. So only if you're willing to do that, then we can take this forward. Otherwise, if I have an internship, I'll let you know. So this seeking identity I want knowledge, this, that, the other. It is because the problem is very, very real to me. This whole problem of avidya. And so, therefore, to even take care of that, there is one verse later, but we look at that later. So, anyway, we can look at the verse, which is a response to saying that, hey, I was, I got into Vedanta because I wanted Ananda. So all this Atma and all, I am not really interested in. So very useless. It's not really helping me to sort out my issues in life. And so I'm very practical person. I don't know where I didn't realize what I've signed up for. So kuch practical hai? Is there anything in practical in Vedanta? So because my conclusion is I'm unhappy. So then verse 28. किम स्वरूपम इति आत्मदर्शने अव्यय अभव अपूर्णः चित् सुखम. So this kim swarupam, what is this essential nature of oneself? With that inquiry, what is possible? When there is knowledge of the self, atma darshanam is possible, then what happens is there is awareness. There is awareness, meaning you discover yourself as awareness. That is, what is the nature of that awareness? What is the nature of that consciousness, that chit? It is that which is sukham, which is ever full, apurnaha, was never born, abhava, never, was avyaya, never subject to decline. So this is what you discover in terms of that, this atma that uh, has been spoken of is not a cold and a remote entity, but it's really all fullness. So the ananda is avyaya. The type, what is this avyaya? Because I am only used to uh, limited experiences of happiness. In the sense, I'm happy for some time, and then after that it fades away. If somebody compliments me, I'm like, wow, very nice. Like, I don't know whether it's there in other cultures, but we used to have this thing, ki collar up. Collar up means if you have a collar. That, I don't know whether it's in Germany, but that means I'm happy, I'm proud that, hey, you said something nice about me, or I have something to be proud about. So like that, or the ones who are celebrating Mother's Day today. So little bit something the children did for them, so they're very happy. Or the children didn't do anything for them because they got caught up with this whole media jazz. So they said, oh, I'm not very happy. I thought something at least my children will do for me. Or the one who are not yet mothers are saying, oh, mera turn kab aayega. So like that, any situation and every external situation can be a trigger, can be a stimulus for me to say I am happy or I am unhappy. And or sometimes we become very numb also, you know. So it happens often. Most of us, everybody is emotional. So if anybody says that, oh, I am an emotional person, then I don't know what to say because everybody is emotional. Okay, there's no exception to that. So still, if somebody says, "Oh, I am emotional, and now I'm fed up, and this, that, the other," sometimes people become very numb because they shut down. Okay, they shut down their defenses, and then they become indifferent to everything. So anyway, even that, whatever be the trigger of different situations, that I am happy or unhappy is often is a conclusion we make during the day. Forget about life, okay? So I don't feel up to it. I'm just not happy. I am so bored, or something like that. Okay. Now, what Ramana is saying is, Acha, you're saying this. You say, oh, I'm really so sad. I'm just not happy. Okay, let's go with that. So first, let's question that. Am I unhappy? So unhappy, I know, but the rest of the sentence, when I say, am I unhappy, then this I that you're talking about, who is that? Who is that I? Is it the mind? But you are seeing what is happening in the mind. Oh, I don't know, whatever it is. I don't want to analyze right now. I am just very unhappy. Oh, I feel so low. No, just what Ramana is saying is this I am unhappy is not a feeling issue. It is a lack of self-inquiry. Because I is only not known, then how can you say I am unhappy? So all these things which I don't know much about, and I'm saying, okay, I can rid myself of some ignorance. Okay, I don't know much about um, the way this uh, how organic farming is done. I can find out. But this I that you are saying very vehemently, you are saying, I am really unhappy. There's nothing left in life for me, etc., etc. That who is that I? Because all our other attempts, are there to take care of our limitations. So if you look at the whole progress of snail mail, you would write one letter, put it or either postcard, or you would put it in an envelope, and then you will send it to email. Even when email came, everybody was like, wow, this is amazing. So now what is the fastest? So then it would be WhatsApp. Email people may or may not access, they may or may not have it on the phone, but WhatsApp instant. So every advancement in civilization is trying to take care of a limitation we experience. So now I don't want this distance. I want to communicate to person A. Person is far away. So many methods are there. Like that, everything. So many advancements. Now we have to train ourselves in terms of telepathy. So we don't even have to talk. But I don't think that will happen because we are very subjective people. So people will say that, we don't even need to talk. I look at you or I don't even look at you and I know what's happening with you. Very dangerous. Okay. Dangerous means you may think you want it, but you may not be ready to see what's happening with in the other person's mind. Okay. So but that's as fast as it can get. No telepathy, that instantly what's happening with the other person. But anyway, the point is that all this ignorance of different subject matter, in our experiential world, I can try to deal with. And that's what pretty much all advancements are trying to do. But when I say I am unhappy, that no advancement in science or technology is able to tell me who is that I that is unhappy. It is taken as a given. Oh, you are not up to the mark, you're feeling tired, you're feeling restless. No, why don't you go for a spa treatment? Or you go have a change, go, have a vacation. Or don't do anything. So all these things that are suggested to us is on the basis of a common experience that everybody is unhappy, and most people deny it. Okay, most people say because there is a pressure to also show that actually I have no reason to complain, I am okay. So one or two people, when I've asked, so how are you doing? Oh, I'm always happy. Very good. I'm glad. If that is so, then that's great. So that I am unhappy, really, when you inquire more into it, the conclusion is that I am limited. And that is what bothers me. And I cannot reconcile with it. I cannot say, Just like we feel hungry once every 3 4 hours, I mean, if you're normal, that is, then it is an accepted fact that you will feel hungry. We don't complain about it. If we don't feel hungry, then it is a matter of complaint. So like that, why can I not accept that, hey, I feel hungry every 3 4 hours? So I feel sad also, often, very often, more often than not. It's okay. I can't accept it. And that's really why this self inquiry is so important, because through this self inquiry, I am looking at the mirror of Vedanta. And as I look into the mirror, the very sincere, serious seeker who begins the inquiry disappears. So disappears because no longer seeking, because now knows the truth. And what the person also discovers is that this happiness, this ananda is really not far away from me. It is me. And how do I know it is me? Because it manifests from time to time. Experientially, when my raga dveshas are met, okay, whatever are my conducive conditions, so I am very happy. And when I'm happy, I don't want things to be any different. So you watch some comedy show, you know, and there are shows like that in India. I think all over the world somehow these comedy shows, they have just risen in popularity, or either on TV or stand-up comedy. And so many people are laughing, and some good jokes are there sometimes, or you laugh at the foolishness of the joke. Either way, you laugh. When you laugh, it's not that all your difficulties in life have gone. It's not that your stomach ache is over. It's not that your money situation has improved. Nothing. The problems in your life continue to stay the same. But still, in that moment of laughter, you're able to suspend everything. You are able to drop everything. So your memory, your projection, your idea, your identities, everything dropped. So this capacity to forget or to suspend is possible, because that's why we have our experiences of happiness. Because if you start remembering all the problems in your life, and that's why we say that people who are not grateful generally are very unhappy. That's the best way to be unhappy, to not be grateful. So you're complaining about this, you're complaining about that, etc., etc. So there's nothing to be grateful about. You just have a sense of entitlement. So ye bhi nahi mila, wo bhi nahi mila, nothing happened, etc., etc. So it's a guarantee. But on the other hand, people who are genuinely grateful, who have a sense of cheerful acceptance, and also are able to see that in just the whole pattern of the way things are, I need not have got what I got. I need not have all these supportive people in my life, because all my friends, etc., they are also in similar situations, but they don't have some of the stuff that I have, some of my learning, etc. We are not trying to put down people here. We're just focused on what it is that how is it that I have evolved as a person, or what all opportunities I have got, or even my own capacities in terms of my mind body capacities. The more you dwell on that, gratitude cannot coexist with fear, with unhappiness. It just cannot. You can't be grateful and you cannot be unhappy at the same time. The more you focus, the more you dwell on that. And this is not positive thinking. We are not trying to romanticize anything. that you just focus on what you have and what you are, and then you just see that, hey, it's a very beautiful life. And still, all of this is still in the realm of experiential world. So in the comedy show, I am able to drop all the problems that were there. So many problems I'm facing. I'm able to suspend, I'm able to forget. Because it is possible that I can be happy without a lot of the problems in my life getting resolved. This is a very important point we have to note, because we think, that no, once XYZ happens, I'll be happy. But hey, you already have X and Y, you're still not happy. So this unhappy, feeling unhappy or low is not really a feeling issue, it is a lack of self inquiry. And because of this experiential happiness, Vedanta can talk about it. Because Vedanta is really talking about who is that experiencer in and through all your experiences. If a happy experience was not known to you at all, okay, no point talking to you about it, because anyway you don't desire it. Or even if you hear about it, you say, oh, you are Ananda. Ah, okay, so what? So what's the big deal? There's no big deal because it's not valued. But I see myself as having a lack. I see I'm Apurnaha. And so Ramana is saying that no, you're not Apurnaha, you are Apurnaha. Apurnaha meaning, that verse is there in the Gita, Apuryamana Machala Pratishtham. So full, ever full, complete, that nothing can take away, or nothing can add to it. It's like if you put your finger in an ocean, okay? So you say, oh, I'm going to displace a few of space because I put my finger in the ocean. Or you add one lota of water to the ocean and you say, oh, I have made a big contribution. This is nothing, okay? So it is so full. So you see yourself as Abhavam, that consciousness that you are was never uh, was never born. So that's similar to ajatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu. And earlier you laughed because you forgot about so many limitations you had. Now if you laugh because you are free from the limitations, because in your recognition as I consciousness, you see that the limitations belong to the body and the mind, and that I am free from the limitations of the body and mind. So this is where all of us are stuck, okay? And sadhus with so many years of tapasya, everybody is stuck here only. They atma buddhi. That I am this body, I am the mind. See, because it is a very difficult orientation to give up. You know this uh, hing. There is one spice we have, asafoetida, hing. Okay, so this hing, if it is there in some box, now you have emptied it. It is over. Okay, I don't know how to describe it, but it's a very strong smell. Very, very strong smell. In English, we call it very pungent. Yes. So we call it asafoetida. Okay, in English. So very, very strong, perhaps the most pungent spice. I don't know whether it's a spice or whatever it is. Okay. Now that hing in the dabba is over, you put very fragrant saffron in it. Okay. You put elaichi. You may put other very, very fragrant spices, but you take it out even after a minute. You have washed the box. After that thing is over, you have washed it so many times. But that smell will still be there. It is there. Why? Because very strong smell, strong orientation. So I see it, I am able to see it very often that I am other than the body and the mind. That for functioning, yes, I use the body and mind. I am a trustee of this body and mind. I do whatever is required, but I am much more than this. So that is really like the hing in the box. So much washing we have to do. Still, it's that lingering smell is still there. Okay. So anyway, it goes more in the light of the consciousness that I am, and that in my light, the body mind is illumined. So this that I see Chit as Abhavam, as Apurnam, because this is who I am. Then goes to the next verse. This is also very nice verse, which is kind of linked to the verse which is about knowledge and ignorance. So verse 29, Bandha Mukti Atitam Paramasukham Vindati Iha Jivastu Daivikaha. So this Paramasukham, what is this Paramasukham? The chit that was spoken of earlier, that consciousness is no different from chit because it's limitless. Limitless when it manifests in the mind, uh, in a dynamic form, when you're relating to the other, is of happiness, is of a lot of love, because there's no two. There's not no two people really speaking. This chit is actually atitam, is free from, is beyond bandhaha and mukti. So this, because this is a very unique adhyasa we have, okay, a unique kind of superimposition we have, which is what that I feel bound. So here Ramana is saying that he's taking away even that. He's like, oh, acha. So this whole thing, no, I am a sincere seeker now. Finally, I have got liberation. He's saying, you know what? This self, this chit, it's free from bandha, bondage. It is free from mukti also. Because bandha and mukti are states. And further he goes on to say, who is the one who gets it? Vindati, who? So Jivaha gets it. But how? If that Jivaha who has Deivikaha. So there is this chapter in the Gita which talks about Asuri Sampat and Daivika Sampat. Okay, meaning this treasure house of qualities that are conducive for my growth, for jnanam, and those which are what asuras have, so which are obviously not conducive. So it's a nice chapter to read and dwell on. So this is a very interesting thing that is being said, is that initially when one comes to Vedanta, a lot of us, there are symptoms, okay, but there's no diagnosis. So, and you have tried self-medication, you have tried. So something's not okay, something's not right. Or you've come because of a particular incident that has happened in your life and you're just wondering why me, why it had to happen to me. Either way, whatever be the reason, that there is something called moksha that I am yet not clear about it. It gives me a sense that I am bound, because all the symptoms that I have, all the sorrow I experience, the very, very binding desires are experienced. All that is put under the whole becoming orientation samsara. So we feel that we are stuck, we are bound. It's just a feeling, it's just a sense of bondage. And temporarily, the teacher accepts that I feel bound. So then this whole, emphasis, oh, take your studies seriously, do this, do that, etc., etc. So you study this text, don't do this text. So many texts are there. What shall we do next? All that, all that. All that is for what? Oh, because I want self-knowledge. Hey, but really speaking, the self that you are, Chit, it is free from bandha, free from any sense of bondage because it was never bound. Oh, then it has always been free. It is what it is. We are using words to describe this. So, because the root cause of avidya was not understood, so we were trying to treat the symptoms, and then because of Google Guru, so we try, so many we try. So somebody else will recommend, acha, acha, you're feeling like this, no, don't worry. You come for this program, we are going. Come for this satsang, you come for this kirtan, you will feel good, or it's a nice thing. It's like one of my Guru Bhais was telling me, he used to teach in Canada and he stopped teaching there for some time. And he said that, so I was asking him, how come you stopped teaching there? So he's saying because every satsang is a get together. So because for the Indians, they are trying to hold on to the roots. So it's about a social occasion. So anybody and everybody who comes, all the visiting sadhus from all over different sampradayas, everybody is coming throughout the year. And most people will go for everything. Okay. So I dread to think of what happens to their mind. Okay. Because different sampradayas, so they are hearing all kinds of things. And if they have at least one guru who will make sense of it all, makes sense. But nobody. Why? Because it's a social event. It's not that अच्छा है मिल लिए सब लोगों को अच्छा लगा. For the kids it's good. They'll also interact at least a bit more with some of the Indians. So here the symptom, like the grace is there that lot of people are coming. But I may not have that grace that I will commit to at least one of the sampradayas. I'm not saying, you must commit to Vedanta. Whatever is your, prarabdha plus your purushartha, you commit to something and stay with it for some time. But nahi, because that also is a feel-good spirituality, satsang, nice thing to do over the weekend. We are all very cultural people. We do this kind of thing. And then, acha, what have you heard? What have you understood? Nahi, after all, the truth is the same, na. So everybody talks about it. It's okay. We understand. It's okay. Everybody talks the same thing. Okay. So this symptom, which is papered over, uh, is very much there in our society because root cause, the diagnosis has not been done. What is the cause of all my symptoms? And it is avidya. So in the vision of the Shruti, I was never bound. And it was not that, okay, I was bound and now finally I have thrown the chains of bondage of avidya and now I am free. So no such dramatic things. So because the highest kind of dvandva, set of opposites, is bandha and mukti. That I feel a sense of bondage, that now I am free. If anybody says now I am free, then the person has a serious problem because you were always free. The question of bondage doesn't arise at all. Both of them, mukti as well as bandha, they are only concepts. Even freedom is also a concept. Because when we say freedom, that I am free, meaning that I am free from these limitations, actually, as Atma, You were always free, just that you didn't know, you know. So all the punya papa is really for the body mind. It was not for the atma. So it was not that, oh, now the atma has got promoted. So now finally free. So nothing of the sort. So freedom is just that I am no more this jiva, nor is freedom this freedom after death. So all actions happen in the Paramasukham. So that which is because I see myself as limitless. So in terms of how it manifests in my mind, it is absolute Ananda. It can be quiet Ananda, it can be roaring with laughter Ananda, it doesn't matter. We don't care about the manifestation of it. And even if some dukkha experience comes up, let's say because of previous samskara, previous impressions, you don't say, oh my God, my knowledge is in doubt now because I some sad thing I saw. It's okay. You know, you're able to see it. And in the light of who you are, you see it and it's okay. You know, it's not you. But at some point in time, you thought it was you. It's okay. You know, so you accept everything, you reject nothing. So this, otherwise, if you think that bondage or bandha is real, then mm, then you will think my freedom is also real. You know, there are a lot of people who proclaim this. I am free now. You know, when I saw this truth, then something happened and the flowers showered for me and there was a light and everything. All that is all finite experience. Okay. That if the person says, oh, I realized I was such an idiot before, then I will say, acha, acha. Now this person knows. Because what is it you know? You know, like it's like suppose if you thought you were a rat and then you say, oh, you know, finally I realized I'm a human being. So what is the big realization about it? That only the mistake was clarified. That's all. You stop behaving like a rat. That's all, you know, because you thought you were a rat. So likewise, you say here that it's that in the light of who you are able to see different experiences. So it's true what Solvik is saying, that spirituality has all become about being you know, it's all feel good, there's nothing more. And if there's anything that which makes one feel uncomfortable, then you have to watch out for it. But then a lot of people who say, you know, when we come to Vedanta, so one of them used to joke saying that this lady, her mother-in-law would say, अभी गीता की क्लास को जा रही है और घर पे महाभारत कर रही है. Okay, so मतलब घर पे बहुत झगड़ा कर रही है. So and she was basically trying to taunt her, saying that what you're going for Gita class? Gita class is because Gita is part of Mahabharata, and then you are doing Mahabharata at home. So this thing. So a lot of people say, you know, before I came to Vedanta, life was so smooth. Now, but you know, now I don't find. I can talk to too many people. This is a common condition, okay, for everybody. That all my really good friends now have become all the satsangi friends. So earlier I would really be my best friends, but now I don't have anything common to discuss with them. I find I brood more often. I don't know if this Vedanta is working. No, it is working, but you know, because you're looking at diagnosis here. So the symptoms, sometimes they feel, it's like homeopathy, you know, the way homeopathy works. So sometimes the symptoms, they get accelerated, almost sort of they are at a little bit of a height, but then that's the sign that, hey, it's working for you. I'm not saying that we have to deliberately feel sad, okay? All I'm saying is that whatever you feel, you begin to see more and more clearly. You begin to be more objective in your life. And with Ishvara understanding in your life, it differs. Huge. Because who you are is no longer just one entity anymore. You see that you are pervaded by Ishvara, all the orders of Ishvara, everything. So physiologically, psychologically, chemically, physically, etc., etc., all the way. So then last verse, the Puranas, they talk so much about, so much tapasya has to be done. You have to stand in knee deep water, chant so many mantras, take these pilgrimages, meditate for many years, and do so much upasa, etc., etc. And you are saying, oh, just do this inquiry. It sounds a little too simple. So he reiterates what is Mahat tapas. What is the greatest tapas that you can do? See, you can do all of this, but aham apetakam nija vibhanakam mahat idam tapaha ramana vag iyam. So Ramana vag, this is his words, Ramana vag iyam, these words. What are these words? That the apetakam of this aham, the destruction of aham. So how destruction? Purely through the inquiry that we have just done over many, many verses. What does that lead to? It leads to vibhanakam, an illumination, a shining of the self, a knowledge of the self, which is absolutely clear. So what about it? Well, actually, this destruction of aham, apetakam aham, what is that? That is the mahat tapaha. Mahat tapas or tapaha. It is the greatest discipline that you can have. See, all this other stuff you can do, but that's very easy. Going on pilgrimage, and because it's all time bound, and it's just for a short period of time, so one is able to go through it. But this tapas, this inquiry into oneself, and here we have to add with the help of the Shastra, is a very important one, because even all this feel good spirituality, it is all trying to strengthen the sense of I, everything. So I can sing very nice bhajans, or I know very good Sanskrit, or oh, you have only done Bhagavad Gita 5 chapters. I have done Bhagavad Gita twice. I have also done the other Upanishads. Yes. So this is, it does not look like arrogance, but definitely it is that aham is a very fat, inflated aham. Because I am trying to add what is not me to me and feel good about it. So one of the last stories that Pujya Swamiji told us, before his Mahasamadhi, was about this sculptor. And, it was very interesting that he decided to tell us this story of all the stories. Okay. So this sculptor who can make very lifelike sculptures, murtis, he goes to an astrologer, and the astrologer says, you are going to die, and he gives him a date. Okay. In the next 7-8 months, and he gives him a date, you are going to die. So obviously very upset. So what he does, he goes back to his shop, and he says, you know what, I will make murtis of myself so lifelike that when Yama comes, Lord of Death comes, will not be able to recognize. So he makes, and he makes many of them. And at the appointed day and time, when the astrologer had said he was going to die, he sits there exactly like the murti. And all these murtis are there. So initially, Yama also, he delegates. It's a huge department. It's a ever busy department. Okay, because somebody or the other is dying all over. And we are only talking about this world, okay? We don't know other worlds. So he sends some dutas, some like messengers, Yama dutas, So they come and they are shocked. So they come at the appointed time. You're supposed to go. They look around. So no, this fellow cannot be seen. There is just his shop. Maybe he's gone somewhere. So we don't know. So they go back. They go back and report to Yama that we looked for him, but he was not there at all. So he's saying, oh, you guys, you don't have much experience. I will come. So he himself personally comes and he looks around and he says, oh, the level of artisanship, it is so exquisite. It's not possible only a human being could have made. Definitely this fellow could not have made it. It is so beautiful. It is so brilliant, all these murtis. So now our fellow, he has so much pressure now. How he's saying, think surely the Yama is saying, oh, surely some Devata only would have made it. So then he can't help. He's saying, no, no, I made it. So Yama says, okay, come. Come with me. So he identifies himself, because so much pressure is there. So I have to identify, I made this, I did this. So this is the work of ahankara. So there's ahankara. So ahankara is, if it's a functional ahankara, that's brilliant, because even a jnani or ajnani, we can have a functional ahankara. Whatever we need to do with body mind, we do. We don't have to change our language also. But unless this ahankara has to be understood as chit, because of all this self-inquiry, and it will go away only with jnanam. So this is the tapas that is to be done. It doesn't matter if you have a siddhi, any other accomplishment, you don't have, whatever it is. But what if ahankara is understood, it is the atma. Ahankara not understood continues being the ahankara. So the nija swarupa, your own swarupa, vibhanakam, that I actually am this consciousness that illumines this body, mind, even all my identities, everything. So that's what is absolutely, what is self-evident, what is never subject to any negation, not even in deep sleep, what is not subject to negation, irrespective of all the experiences in my life. So that uh, understanding, because of this antakarna that I have, I am free, not because it is a process of my understanding. I am free, period. I don't know that. For that, then we have to use this means of knowledge which will help me understand. Okay? Because, while we teach, there's so much emphasis on trying to understand knowledge, etc., etc., that we kind of feel that it's a process. The process, if at all there is a process, it's more about getting ready, dealing with our raga dveshas and this inner pressure, like the sculptor, you know. So it's that. He could have saved his life. I mean, hypothetically, I'm saying. So Yama, of course, would have identified him, but still he could have kept quiet. But no, he couldn't. No, I have made this sculpture. Had to say. So this is Upadesa Saram, that the one who starts the inquiry pretty much is dead, okay, because is no more there in that same form. So is no more a seeker. Why? Because what was being sought is now clear. So the sought, the seeker gains the sought, and the sought is really himself, oneself. So exactly like a fellow who's drunk, who needs to be taken around, you know, and then say, okay, but now you're back home. Say, oh, really? Yeah, that's right. I'm back home. But earlier, everybody was saying, hey, you are at home only. See, all familiar stuff. No, no, no. You please take me home. So that's the sense of bondage. So that's why, mark my words, I say sense of bondage. I never say I have bondage. or that somebody has bondage. Okay? Because if I say that, then that means bondage is real. If something is absolutely real, then how you can negate it? It won't. But the reason it can go is because it was apparent, it was never really there, but seemed to be there, and therefore it can go. Okay, so with that, we conclude Upadesha Saram. The emphasis is more on Tvam, who I am, that's the inquiry. And after stating the sadhanas at the beginning of the text. Very nice text, very crisp, and very beautifully put. The verses are also very tight, very crisp. And we see that as recent as 75 years ago, this text would have been composed, and we recognize this, Advaita Vedanta as a living tradition. It's not a dead tradition. So people may use different words, they may compose different texts, but the teaching of oneness is what continues and will continue. Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Okay, if there are questions, I'll take them. If not, then next time we meet, we will have people sharing what they have understood from the different verses. I believe 3-4 verses per person, something like that. Yeah. Okay. Any clarifications? Anything?
Swamiji, you said something like the fullness or the freedom it manifests in the mind as Ananda. Can you explain that more? I didn't understand.
Yeah. See, the word Ananda is an experiential word. Okay, because it's related to an experience. The word Ananta, which is limitless, is not related to an experience. So when we say Satchit Ananda or Satyam Jnanam Anantam, it is a word that is pointing to our nature. So what is that nature? It is Ananta, it is limitless. Because consciousness cannot be divided, it has no boundaries. Body mind has boundaries, consciousness has no boundaries. So this Ananda is my nature. And I don't see it that way, but that's the problem. So it's like the moon. Okay, the moon it's full. Okay, it's always full. But the moon, it's a crescent moon. And the crescent moon yearns for fullness. Because depending on different situations, sometimes it's half moon, because certain situations allow me to manifest the happiness that is me. Some situations don't. So the moon is always thinking. If the moon doesn't know that I was always round and full, what will the moon think? Oh no, I have to, but I am a crescent moon, I am yearning for fullness. So only when it is a full moon day, Purnima, then that's fine. Amavasya, oh my God, what depression. So because there's no light. So because I don't know I'm limitless, okay, and I depend on certain conditions to feel happy. In other words, raga dvesha. So I find that my experience of ananda is inhibited because that ananta for a person who, it's exactly like when you are in love. Okay. So most people who are deeply in love think they have invented love. Nobody can love like them. What they feel for each other is really something. Okay. And these people, you will end up doing very, very reckless things in love because you feel very free. Okay. Now, what is the big change that has happened in your life? That one person finds you lovable. Okay. So that I'm lovable, that I'm worthy of being loved despite all my issues, etc., etc. Just cognite, I mean, we don't proceed that way, but just that cognition is enough for me to feel free. I feel that I can do anything. I don't feel bound. Okay. So, or if you're happy, if you're very happy, you don't feel bound by anything. You feel you have all the energy in the world, all the motivation, and you will just go ahead. So, a lot of our emotions, they really come from our understanding of ourselves. Now, I'm just talking about one little experience that out of these 7 billion people on the planet, there's this one person who loves you deeply. What is a big deal about it? No, 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 but it's a big deal. Okay. And just that one person loves me is it totally changes my world. Because I find that I am accepting, I am loving, etc. In other words, I don't experience my limitations. Okay, this is what love does to us. Now I see that I am limitless. I don't have that even the limitations of the body and mind, they belong to the body and mind. Okay, when I see this clearly, then what will be my emotional response? My emotional response is that of ananda. Ananda as in happiness. As in it's not necessarily I will declare it to the world, I know the truth kind of thing, you know, but that there is nothing, there is no situation that limits you. There is no emotion that limits you. There is no person that limits you. Okay. Because actually you are the basis of everything that is here. So it's a certain shanti, it's a certain, you know ananda can be a little misleading word because we think that we will be, bursting with joy all the time and that kind of thing, and that's not what we are. That's a manifestation. It can be very quiet ananda. If that's your personality, then it's quiet. Or some people roaring with laughter ananda, that's okay, that is manifestation. But that I am, that that I, which I thought this sukhi dukhi insan, subject to so much of moodiness, that actually speaking, I was never bound, I was ever free, and that all that is here is me, all that is here is the Atma. When it manifests, okay, if and how it manifests, then we may call it experiential Ananda. And because the beauty about it is that all of us know the experience, and we have looked at this earlier, that happiness does not lie in an object, because that same object would have made me happy uniformly. It does not lie in a person also, because again that same person would have made me happy uniformly. It doesn't depend on my moods also, that if at all there is an experience of happiness, it comes from me. Where is it coming from? Is it coming from my kidneys, from my heart, from my liver? No, no. Oh, maybe it's coming from my mind. So then what is that condition of that mind when it is not inhibited? Oh, that means I should have no inhibitions. No, I don't mean that. Inhibitions meaning raga dvesha. When raga dveshas, when there are some people who are very content with life. They just are they accept people around them. They don't want to change the whole world. So they for them this is fine. It's everything's okay the way it is. Okay, but this is not an emotional state. So we understand it as Ananda is understood as Anantam, limitless. And then the rest of it follows. Yeah. Okay. So we shall meet next Sunday, which is 21st, and we'll hear what you all have to say. Right? So 3-4 verses each. I believe Prashant was going to circulate some spreadsheet. Um so you all will organize it amongst yourselves, or should I? Yeah. So 4-5 verses each, depending on how many people you are. So we are able to complete 1 to 30 verses. Okay. Okay. So we'll see you next week then. Oh.